All right, guys, let's see if I'm live. Let's take a quick check. Okay, looks like I am live. Okay, perfect. All right, minimize that. And okay, so I have audio. Just double checking. Okay, so it's cool. All right, so I wanted to talk about Amazon's Black Friday deals 2025, and I saw some really good deals on some routers. So I get a bunch of questions on routers, mainly on routers, and it's usually like, which one should I get? If this one's on sale, should I get this one because normally it costs more? And so basically, I kind of wanted to see. I went to Amazon, I wanted to look at all the deals that they had, and these are really good. So I'm going to talk about some of these and what they would be good for. And it really depends on your preferences because pretty much all of these are good for different purposes. So we'll start off with the Eero Pro 7. Eero has a very basic interface. It's very simple to use, very, very simplified. It just works. So there's nothing special about it in terms of you really can't customize a whole lot, but in terms of performance, it definitely delivers. So the Eero Pro 7 has two 5 gig ports. By the way, the links are in the description box below, and I am an Amazon associate, so I do earn from qualifying purchases. Okay, so if it goes through my links, I should say that. Okay, so Amazon's Eero Pro 7 has two 5 gig ports. I've tested this. I've done two or three videos on this, maybe even more. I've done a setup guide video on it as well. So this thing is really good for internet speeds of up to 5 gigs if you just want a simple, very easy setup. And you can actually, because Amazon essentially bought out Eero from what I know, eventually you can even log in with your Amazon account to set up this Eero, and then they're pretty good with software updates and everything, and generally they are pretty good. But if you want something that does separate the frequency bands, because this is a tri-band, so it has the 2.45 and 6 gigahertz band, this does not allow that. Eero in general does not allow that. They allow you to temporarily disable them just so your 2.4 gig devices can connect if they're having trouble. But aside from that, there is no separate SSIDs, other than you do get a guest SSID, so I should mention that. But very good router, and I have no issues with any of my 2.4 gigahertz devices connecting to this stuff. And then the Eero Max 7, and that's $449 is a really good price for Black Friday. Eero Max 7, this is a much more powerful, larger in size as well. Again, I've reviewed this one. The biggest difference between the Pro 7 and the Max 7 is that the Max 7, it has two 10 gig ports on this thing. It has more ports in general, but two of them are 10 gig ports. And you can use this for up to 10 gig speeds, and it also has faster wireless backhaul speeds. So if you're doing a wireless backhaul and your internet speeds are above 2 or 3 gigs, then you want to kind of start looking at the Max 7 if you want speeds fast speeds throughout your home. Pro 7 still has pretty good wireless backhaul speeds, but I forget what the numbers I got, so I've done a bunch of reviews on them. But yeah, anything above 2 gigs and you want to do wireless backhaul and you do want to get those super good speeds, then the Max 7 is kind of the next one up. But in most cases, Pro 7 is actually really, really good. So, and especially for that price. And the other thing is with routers, you don't, well, I mean, it depends on you, but I like to recommend routers for what you're using or what you're kind of planning on upgrading to, rather than, you could buy the best of the best, but is it worth all the extra money if you're not going to get a whole lot more performance out of it? So it really kind of depends on your situation. All right, so, and again, the Max 7 and Pro 7, they're very similar in terms of options, so not a whole lot, very simple to use, and it just pretty much just works. Then we get to the Asus. Now Asus, this is customized heaven. They give you so many options. It's almost, it's like, do I really need this many options? It's so customizable. So if you want to tinker with stuff, definitely Asus is the way to go. From all routers I test, Asus is #1 when it comes to number of options that they give you. And they also include a lot of stuff included in the price. Whereas with the Eero, if you want parental controls, that does require a separate subscription. With Asus, it does not. So with Asus, it does come included in the price. They also have AI protection. And with Asus, it also has AI mesh, so you can actually combo it with other Asus routers that also support AI mesh. And actually, Eero has that too, so you can actually combo other Eeros with other Eeros as well, if you wanted to combine them. Okay, BT6. I like the BT6 because this is really, really good for up to gigabit speeds, whether you're using wired or wireless backhaul, because the performance on it for up to gig speeds was fantastic. For anything faster than that, I would look elsewhere, but for up to gig speeds, Asus BT6, fantastic. And this is the 3-pack for $290. And it was interesting because as of now, this is $290, and the 2-pack is almost basically, the 2-pack and the 3-pack are, oh, this is actually by another seller. Interesting. So I was actually checking from Amazon. Maybe it sold out. Interesting. Oh no, it's right here. $316. So the seller, if you wanted to buy it from Amazon, that's sold by Amazon, it's $316. So I remember it being not much more than the 2-pack. So I was like, wow, that's actually a really good deal. Okay, so this next one is the BT10, and the BT10 is my overall favorite mesh system in terms of price per performance. It gives you two 10 gig ports. It's very fast wireless backhaul speeds, gives you a ton of options, and it's phenomenal for the price. And at this price, as of now for the Black Friday sale, this is a phenomenal deal. This router is truly very, very powerful. Very good speeds, wireless backhaul, wired backhaul, just superb speeds. It's not the absolute best mesh system, but it's the best mesh system for the price. Price per performance. This is, as of now, my all-time favorite price per performance, Asus BT10. And you guys should check out I've done a wireless backhaul video on this. In fact, I've done a wireless backhaul video on most of the Wi-Fi 7 mesh systems. The wireless backhaul on these things are very fast, especially if you Ethernet connect to the wireless backhaul. So if you have your main one hooked up to, oh, I'm like looking here. If you have your main one hooked up to your modem or your ONT, and then you have the secondary one, even if it's wireless, you're talking to the main one, you could still Ethernet connect to it. And in fact, you could get really good speeds, phenomenal speeds. This thing is very, very good. Now the BQ16 Pro is actually better than the BT10. And mainly in the wireless backhaul. It's better in a few things, but mainly in the wireless backhaul. But the thing is, you're paying more for it. Now, it is on sale, so it's a fantastic price right now. But generally, you are paying more for it. And it is better than the BT10, but it's not a whole lot better. So that's why I said price per performance, BT10 is the best. Okay. Then we move on to the Decos. So the TP-Link. So TP-Link is really good when it comes to just price per performance, just in general. So with this one, the B63, this one kind of took over my favorite XE75 and XE75 Pro and XE70 Pro. Those were my favorites for a while for price per performance. Well, I still like the Asus BT10 more than the B63. But the B63 does cost less, and in the kind of the more affordable, more budget-friendly category, the B63 is now, that kind of took over the XC70, XC75, and it's a Wi-Fi 7, it's very fast, it has 4 2.5 gigabit ports, it has really good wireless backhaul speeds, and that's the other thing. So you don't need to have Wi-Fi 7 devices to take advantage of a Wi-Fi 7 mesh system because they connect to each other with MLO, multi-link operation, which means it connects with multiple bands to create a better wireless backhaul network. And most of the Wi-Fi 7s, they have really good wireless backhaul speeds on the secondary one. So you're not losing a whole lot of speed. I mean, depends on your internet connection, I should say that. But in general, Wi-Fi 7 is really, really good. And the 2-pack is a fantastic price as of now. Okay, and then the B67 is basically like the B63, but it could go faster. It basically has faster wireless backhaul speeds compared to the B63. So it's kind of a better version, but again, so this is a great deal at 400 right now, and it looks like there is a promo. But it really depends if you're using it, and the B67 is better than the B63, but is it better enough to pay, you know, whatever the price difference is? I forget what the other one was. What was it? Okay, like 250. So basically, if you take away the $50, so let's just say like $100 increase, and the B67 is better, but that's kind of the fine line that you want to reach. So if you're doing wireless backhaul, then yeah, it will make a difference if you're above certain speeds. So that's basically the BE67. The BE95 is the best wireless backhaul mesh system that I've ever tested as of now. The wireless backhaul on this thing is incredibly fast. It's super, super fast. And that's because this is a quad band. It has an incredibly fast speed rating. It has two 10 gig ports. Well, it has more ports than that, but it does have two 10 gig ports, and it's very fast, incredibly fast. So in terms of raw performance, this might be the best mesh system that I've tested in terms of raw performance. So yeah, this one is really, really good, really, really good. Then we move on to the Orbi 870, and this is when we kind of get into choices, because some people like Asus, some people like Eero, some people like Netgear. The Orbi 870, the router has a 10 gig port, but the rest of the ports are 2.5 gigs, and the satellites are 2.5 gigs. The Orbi 870 for up to 2.5 gigabit speeds, even though the main router can take up to 10, but for up to 2.5 gigabit speeds, the Orbi is actually very good for wireless backhaul. Also very good for wired backhaul, has very good range. Just overall really, really good speeds for up to 2.5 gigabits. It is very strong performance for up to 2.5 gigabits. Now with Netgear, it does give you more options than Eero, and not as much as Asus, but with the Orbi, it's more like you need to go into their web interface, because within their app, it's super simplified. They're trying to make it as easy to use as possible, but if you actually go to the web interface, which I think is orbilogin.net, once you go there, it gives you a lot more options in there. And then the Orbi 970 is also another performance beast. As of now, it's actually my favorite mesh system. And really the reason for that is because it has solid performance. I've ran this off and on for a while. It's been super stable, super steady, and it just works. Whatever the main SSID you make, whatever device connects to it, it just works at the fastest speeds. It's like the Orbi is very good at figuring out what devices should connect to what frequencies, or if it should go to MLO, or whatever the case may be. But this thing is a truly fast, phenomenal mesh system. Phenomenal. It does cost a lot, but it is phenomenal. Okay, so let's talk about the individual routers real quick, and then we'll get into the scooters. So recently I tested out the B600. Really good performance if you're placing it. So the thing I like about routers, and I think this one supports Easy Mesh from what I remember, which means you can get another Easy Mesh compatible router and use them as a mesh if you wanted to. But the one thing I like about routers is if you're placing it centrally in your home, it's sometimes better to get a router than a mesh system. A mesh system is more if you're living in a larger home, or if you're in between floors, or if you're your router's on one side of the house and then you need to get to the other. That's when a mesh system is better, for sure. A router is better if it's kind of centrally placed and it's just the home is not too big. And then the cool thing is with the newer ones, like it supports Easy Mesh, so if you wanted to, you can basically get another one. And the antenna placement does actually make a difference as well. But this one was a very solid router from my testing. Okay. And then this is another one that's on sale, the Netgear Nighthawk RS500. I've tested out the, I think, 100, 200, 300, 500, 600, 700, I think. I think. I test so many routers, sometimes I forget which ones I've tested. Um, this is a really good deal. Again, if you're centrally placing this thing, it's very fast. It has strong performance, it has pretty good range. But yeah, so this is another one of those good ones where, again, if you want to centrally place it, if you're not going to centrally place it, you like Netgear, I would check out the Orbi. And then this is another common thing. So sometimes I get a question, okay, I bought a new router. Can I use my existing router as a switch? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is no. It really kind of depends on the model. I personally, because switches are fairly affordable, especially if it's gigabit switches, unmanned, it's to me, it's just better just to get a switch, just plug it in. These things are plug and play and basically expands your Ethernet port. So if you get a mesh system that has 2 ports or 3 ports and you just want more Ethernet ports, well, you could just connect one of those to a switch and then basically go from the switch and connect more devices. As long as the router touches the modem first, is directly connected to the modem or the ONT first, that's the important part. After that, the switch can connect and expand your Ethernet ports. And this is a very good price for 8 ports basically, which really 7 is usable because if 1 is going in, you have 7 other usable ones. But yeah, it's fantastic, especially for the price. So that's why sometimes when I get that question, sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is no for can I use the router as a switch. But I mean, I would just basically just get a switch and just call it a day. And then the GE800, this is a very strong performing router, just in general. It has very, 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 very fast speeds. Again, if you want to centrally place it, and if you have like the OnePlus 13, OnePlus 12, the super fast Wi-Fi 7 devices, those can go really, really fast with the G800, and it just looks kind of cool. It kind of looks like something out of Star Wars, like one of those flying ships. I forget what they're called, but yeah, it kind of has that Star Wars type of theme, and from the side, it kind of looks like Darth Vader a little bit too. It just looks cool, but it's strong performing. It's not just it looks cool. And this is not on sale, but I just added this just to mention it. And basically, sometimes I get other questions like, okay, should I go spend, $1,000 on a router? I mean, they're on sale right now, but sometimes, it's a $1,000 router, you get really good wireless backhaul speeds. Other times, I just want to say that, if you have coax running throughout your home, you can actually get a Mocha adapter, like this one, Mocha 2.5, and it can, in theory, transfer up to 2.5 gigabit speeds over coax. So you would basically connect one end to Ethernet and then connect the other, basically coax out, goes through your walls. But the thing is, there's some things you need to know about this where if you have splitters within your walls that's connecting the coaxes, they need to allow certain frequencies for the Mocha to operate. But if they do, you can actually connect the other one in another room or 2 rooms away or 3 rooms away, connected to coax, and out comes Ethernet, and it basically makes a wireless backhaul connection. So it's kind of actually sometimes a cheaper way of getting a fast system. So maybe you could just get like a normal, not as expensive router and get a Mocha adapter and still get really good speeds. You still get pretty much kind of wired style speeds with this. Okay. So let's jump to the scooters real quick. Well, actually, let me see if there's any questions. Okay. Oh yeah, the BQ16 is amazing. I was thinking about the BQ16 with the, oh yeah, I might test out the B19000 AI. I might be testing that out. Deco B63 or Pro 7 for 1 gig. They're both fine for 1 gig. I would just go with the cheaper option. For 1 gig, they're both fine. I think the Pro 7 is overall better than the B63, but for 1 gig speeds, B63 is solid. I think that's the one that was a cheaper price, so I would actually just spend less and get that one personally. But you can't go wrong either way. Okay, let's go back to scooters, because actually let me talk about this camera real quick, because this camera is not super expensive right now, and it's actually very useful. So instead of having a couple cameras at home, I can just have one of these and it could just rotate, and it's just cool. So I just decided to include it in here just because it's pretty useful. However, the negative thing with Ring is if you want to store the footage, you do need a subscription. I personally happen to have a subscription because I have the Ring alarm, and that includes Ring cameras. So for me, it doesn't cost anything additional to use this to store the footage. Without a subscription, you can view it live. It's just if you want to store the footage, that does require a subscription, but this is actually a pretty good price. So just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, so now let's get to the scooters. And the thing is with this list, I could have made the list a lot longer, but I didn't want to go, too much. So I kind of wanted to just look at kind of the main stuff. There's still a lot of other things out there that I'm like, wow, that's a really good price, but we're gonna be here for like 4 hours. Okay, let's get to the scooters because I test out a lot of scooters. I probably test out more. No, I definitely test out more routers than scooters, but I test out a decent amount of scooters as well. I like Segway scooters. The Max G3 is my favorite scooter for the price because it goes up to 20. I don't know why it says 22. I think it says Max G2 here, but the Max G3, from what I remember, goes 28 miles an hour, up to 28 miles an hour. And if you're riding a scooter, be careful out there. Always wear protection. I always wear protection when I'm riding a scooter. It is fun to ride, and I actually kind of like taking it to the store, especially because some of these newer Segways have this this little hanger thing. So like if I'm just gonna go grab some milk or some bread or whatever, it's like nothing too crazy. I actually like going with the scooter instead of my car. And sometimes I just like riding the scooters around. I go with my kids too. It's actually pretty fun. But the Segway Max G3, they hit it out of the park because I've had the Max G30, which was the first one, the Max G2, and the Max G3 is definitely better than both of the other ones, even though the other ones are good too, but this one's just better. ZT3 Pro, I think goes up to 25 miles an hour, something like that. And this one is really good for off-roading. You don't need to take it off-roading, but on the dirt, this has much more traction. I mean, it can't be, crazy off-roading or anything like that, but for just like some normal kind of trail type of nothing too crazy, the ZT3 Pro is actually really good, much better than the Max G3 if you were going off-roading. And this thing actually has pretty good, for a scooter in this price range, I should mention that, it has pretty good climbing abilities. And I've actually done videos where I put the ZT3 Pro against the Max G3 and I think against the GT3, and I climbed up several hills, and ZT3 Pro was really good actually. So yeah, but the Max G3 is my favorite in this price range, and ZT3 Pro is also very close. It's just because I don't do a lot of trails. I'm mostly usually on the streets, basically on paved roads. Okay. F3, this is a little bit not as good as the Max G3, but I like it because it's portable. So I don't like putting the Max G3 in my trunk just because it's a little bit heavier. I could do it, I could fit it in there, but I actually prefer the smaller scooters more when it comes to that. And the F3 is really good for that. So is the E3 Pro. So both of those are really good, and these are actually they have pretty good sales going on right now. And then I have to give it out to Navi. I've tested out several of their scooters, and they make really good scooters. And I tested out the ST3 Pro. Really good scooter. Also looks pretty cool at night with the lights and everything. But yeah, really good. I also like new scooters, but I didn't see too many sales going on with that. And there's a couple other ones that I like. But yeah, Navi is genuinely also a really good scooter, kind of like the Segways are. So I was like, oh, this is actually a pretty good price, so I'm going to mention it in there. Okay, NVIDIA Shield. This is my second favorite, with very, very close to the Apple TV. Apple TV is my favorite streaming device, and the Shield is almost there. And in some aspects, I like the Shield more just because you could customize it more. And I think it also supports a few more codecs and stuff for audio and things. like that. But the fact that it came out in 2019, I was hoping, because I think the Shield is based on the original Nintendo Switch processor, I think the Tegra processor by NVIDIA. And I was like, oh, the Switch 2 came out, so new Shield 2, but nothing yet. But for something, I think that came out in 2019, if I remember correctly. But for something that came out such a long time ago, it's still like a really good box, and actually is my second favorite box, right after Apple's. And really, the only reason why I like Apple's more is just because it's super clean. Like the interface, it's very, very basic. And I actually like, I'm using my iPhone to stream right now, but I actually prefer my Samsung phone. So I actually prefer Android phones over iPhone. But when it comes to the streaming device, it's just something about the Apple TV. Just it looks so clutter free. It's so easy to find stuff that I kind of just like that. And when I do speed tests and everything on that, it's actually really fast. But NVIDIA Shield is very, very close to that. And in some aspects, it's actually better. And a lot of people have commented that they like the Shield more. And honestly, I don't blame them. Okay. And then the other thing is, let's talk about the XM6. So I had the XM4 headphones. I still have it. I bought several XM5. I think I bought like three. I think I bought three XM5 headphones just because they're, it's very good when it comes to noise cancellation, and it's very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. So I had some Bang & Olufsen's. I really like the way they sound. But after about, I don't know, like 45 minutes to an hour, it kind of starts hurting my head. Maybe because of my head shape. I don't know what it is. But with the Sonys, they're super comfortable. And with the XM6, this thing is phenomenal. And I love the case for this thing. The case for this thing, in fact, it's in the other room. I probably should have brought it. But the case for this thing is fantastic. In fact, I think I got the silver one this time around because I have a few black ones. I think I have two black ones and one blue one for the XM5. So I was like, let me get the silver one because they all kind of look alike. But the XM6 is really, really good. Really good. But deal-wise, XM5 is the way to go because the XM6 is better than the XM5, but I don't know if it's worth paying the extra $150 from today's prices. From normal prices, in my opinion, 100%. But from today's prices, just from Black Friday, this thing is actually pretty good. And that's by Autorama. And I don't know if Amazon had this. I saved up the links, but it was on sale. And Autorama, they're pretty good. I've bought stuff from them in the past. Maybe it was from Autorama. I just saw the deal and I'm like, oh, that's an amazing deal. But either way, it's an amazing deal for this headphone. And yeah, last but not least, Echo Spot. I've tested out several Echo speakers. I bought the new Echo Dot Max and the new Echo Studio. Those are also on sale. And again, I wanted to add those as well. The new Echo Studio sounds very clean, but in my opinion, the older Echo Studio sounds better than the newer Echo Studio. The newer Echo Studio looks pretty cool because it kind of looks like the Death Star from Star Wars. But in terms of, I mean, the new Echo Studio sounds super clean, and it does sound good. It's just I was expecting it to sound better than the older Echo Studio, which is actually bigger as well. But I also like the Echo Spot. I don't like listening to music from this too often, but it's just a really nice alarm clock. And honestly, that's why I like it, because I get the notifications. And especially with Alexa Plus right now, it's actually a lot smarter than Alexa. The response time is a little bit slower though. But with Alexa Plus, it's actually a lot smarter. Okay, so that pretty much concludes my deals that I wanted to talk about for today. Let's see if we got any additional questions while we were waiting. Okay, can't stay for too long. Want to drop in and say that your router reviews. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you guys have like questions or suggestions for going live, I don't go live too often. I kind of concentrate more on the reviews, just because there's a lot of stuff coming out. So I just want to concentrate mainly on that. But if you guys have questions, sometimes I read. And the questions are I love getting the comments because it really gives me an idea of what you guys are thinking. And if I get enough of the same comments, then I'm like, oh, maybe I should make a video about this because, you know, people are interested. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to work on stuff, make videos and stuff on content that's interesting, that if a lot of people are getting requests basically for it. So I like to read the comments, but you know, sometimes there are a lot of comments. I am a one-man show, so I can't respond to every single one, but I do try my best to respond to the comments, and I try my best to read them. So I really, really like it when you guys write comments, and just because it gives me a really good idea. So if you guys like, just in general, if you guys like um, me doing live sessions, if you guys want me to answer questions or things of that nature, to the best of my ability. Sometimes you guys ask questions and I actually have to look them up because I'm like, oh, that's actually a really good question. I didn't think about that. And then I have to like research it and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, or just try it out, you know, like if it's a router question or something, if I'm running it, I'm like, oh, can you do that? And then I try it out. Sometimes I just know the answer right away. So those are like the ones that I usually, it's easier to respond because the answer is already in my mind. I just type it up and then we're good to go. Greetings from Denmark. Nice. Greetings to you. I appreciate it. But yeah, if you guys have questions or comments, if not, we could check out. If you guys have suggestions, you know, just leave it in the comment sections below. And a new comment is easier for me to see than a continued comment because the way YouTube is structured is when you guys write new comments, it comes up. When you guys respond to a comment, I have to really kind of go digging for it. So it's a lot harder for me to see that. But yeah, but thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any additional questions or anything like that, if not, I'm gonna actually get ready for my router review. I'm doing a different router review. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching and thank you guys again. And yeah, I'll give it another 10 seconds, 15 seconds. If there's no other questions, then we'll just end the stream. And hopefully you guys had a happy Thanksgiving. If you guys are in the US, I'm not sure if it's celebrated anywhere else. But yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. And if you guys want me to do more, just let me know in the comments sections below. You want to choose between 65 and 85? What's your speeds? Okay, right off the bat, 85 has better wireless backhaul speeds and can handle internet speeds of up to 10 gigs. The B65, I think if you're talking about the B65 Pro, has the two 5 gig ports from what I remember. So if you're running wireless and your internet speeds are greater than 2 gigs, I'd go with the B85 from those two. If you're less than 2 gigs, or I want to say maybe like 1.8 gigs, 1.7, 1.8. If you're above that, I'd go with the B85. If you're right around that, I'd save the money and go with the 65. Both really good. So, oh, you can do anything. Okay. Well, B85 will be a little bit better for range, but B65 is going to be good too. If you're doing gig and wired backhaul, I mean, you're golden. It's been a while since I've done the B85 review, but the 85 is a stronger. I think the speed rating on it is BE22000. I mean, 85 is going to be better than the 65, but you know, how much more does it cost, kind of thing. So that's kind of the thing. Can't go wrong with either one, especially wired backhaul though. B65 is still very strong. I mean, you're talking about two very good routers. It probably does have more antennas. It probably does. I can't remember right now because it's been a while since I've tested the 85. I think that was one of the first Wi-Fi 7 mesh systems that I tested. It might have actually been the first one. So it's been a while since I've tested that one. I try to remember super specifics about the routers, but I test so many of them that I start to forget. I kind of just sort of remember their ports, but I have a rough idea because I've tested a lot of Decos. It might have more antennas. I think overall the 85 is going to have better range. Just depends how much better. Um, so but yeah, to answer your question, it should be better. The 85 should be better. Um, it's just, and I don't know the price differences right now, but the question is, I'm just gonna completely hypothetical. Is it worth paying? I don't know. Completely hypothetical. 25% more to get 10% more range? And if the answer is yes, sure. And I just made those numbers up, so that doesn't mean those are the numbers, but just want to give you an idea, because the B65 is really good. But yeah, okay, hopefully that answered your question. Yeah, basically B85 is going to be better overall. But for gig, wired backhaul, like I keep saying the same thing because I'm like, my brain's resetting. Because they're both really good. You know, if you were saying, you know, something else, I'd be like, I'd get the better one. But they're both good. Okay, guys. Thank you guys. Yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.